House Budget Committee member and Republican Buddy Carter joins me now to talk about it. And Congressman, look, the report shows that big difference in energy inflation between liberal and conservative states. I guess it's the answer is in the question, but what does that say about the push for green energy?
Well, it says that it's going to increase inflation, and that's exactly what has happened in these blue states. Look, this is no surprise. No surprise at all that the inflation is higher in the blue states. After all, they tax more, they spend more, and the more the government spends, the less you have. We know that. Joe Biden proved that to us. That's why the Democrats, like John Ossoff and the Georgia senator, who are opposing the Trump America First policies, that's why this is not working. You know, in the state of Georgia, we've been the #1 state in which to do business for 12 years in a row, and there's a reason for that. Conservative policies, making sure that we are looking after the taxpayers' money.
Exactly. And very quickly, do you think Americans, even those that perhaps thought, you know what, green energy, it's good for the earth, it's good for everyone, do you think there's a growing number of Americans that say, wait a minute, these policies, solar and wind and all of that, they're expensive, they don't produce what they're supposed to, and my electric bill is going up, not to mention electric vehicles, those sales have gone down the tubes. So do you think Americans are changing their opinion, at least those that were more open to it?
And there's no question about it. They understand, and how nice is it to have gas where it is now? And I saw it yesterday for $2.29 a gallon. Unbelievable. That is so nice to be able to know that the Trump policies are working and that he is bringing down energy cost, and we're doing that. Yeah. What we witnessed during the Biden administration with the Green New Deal and all those policies, look, we love the environment. We want to make sure that things are taken care of. And yes, clean energy does have a place in our portfolio, but we cannot have the increase in inflation like it has been. That's why we're still feeling the after effects of the Biden administration and their policies.
All right, next one for you, another topic. Senate Republicans are considering using budget reconciliation process to tackle this impasse on health care. Do you think that is a good idea?
I'm all in. Look, if the Democrats are not going to cooperate, if they're not going to help us to fix this, then we'll do it ourselves, and we can do it ourselves. We proved that with the Working Families Tax Cut Act. And the Democrats, all they want to do is oppose Donald Trump. You know, the Trump derangement syndrome is real. They want to oppose him. We can fix health care. Let's face it. The Democrats ruined health care with Obamacare, with the Unaffordable Health Care Act. And the president is spot on when he says, quit sending the money to the insurance companies, start sending it to the people, increase competition, let them be the ones to make the decisions on their insurance.
I mean, is there a solution, Congressman, that can satisfy both sides of the aisle, or is that just an impossibility?
No, I think there is a solution. I'm the eternal optimist, and I do think there is a solution. But we've got to have major reforms. If we're even going to consider an extension of these premiums, of these enhancements, we've got to have major reforms. After all, I still submit to you that we all want the same thing. We want affordable, accessible, quality health care. But the Democrats, and John Ossoff is one of them, who is blocking this. They are trying to give health care benefits to illegal immigrants, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, it can't. I've got one more for you. Federal Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler, she's freezing more than $5 million in annual aid to Minnesota until further notice. She says Governor Tim Walz's policies breed in endemic fraud. Here's what House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer had to say about this yesterday. I'll get your comment.
What I know, and what a lot of Americans are about to know, is these state employees who were the first to blow the whistle on the fraud. They claim that they notified Governor Walz and Attorney General Ellison years ago. So this has been going on for years. The state employees have been blowing the whistle and alerting the governor, and he's turned a blind eye.
You know, the scale of this, Congressman, is mind-boggling. Do you agree with the move to freeze any more aid money to Minnesota?
Absolutely. I applaud Kelly Loeffler and what she's doing. This is the least we should do. Tim Walz should be in jail for what he has done. And this is not ineptitude. This is not incompetence. This is criminal. He should be in jail for what he has done.
Yeah, it's remarkable. And to that point, whistleblowers pointed it out to him. And now we're finding out that perhaps the tentacles of this thing is going outward and outward. And the governor is going to have a harder time explaining how he didn't get wind of it, I would imagine. I mean, how could this thing end up? What do you think?
Obviously, he was asleep at the wheel, or he was intentionally just not paying attention to. And I would submit to you that the latter is probably more true. And if we can prove that it's true, again, he needs to be in jail.
Yeah, he really does. Well, on that happy note, we'll have to leave it there, Congressman. But it is Christmas Eve, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all of you as well.